Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. And it's almost 2 o'clock right now, and it's time for us to begin our afternoon tea. So before we officially invite and introduce our guests here today, I would like to welcome all of you here to join us on this Facebook Live right now, What Malaysian Youth Should Know online series. All right, one more time for those of you here just join us, say hi to us. And of course, I will be introducing you, our guests here, very, very soon, very, very shortly. And so therefore, I will invite all of you to like, share, and comment this post so that we can benefit many, many, many more people out there. And just do a very quick shout out. And the reason why I want you to share is so that we can benefit many, many more people out there. And also because we will be picking a few lucky winners. And you will be walking away. Of course, we're going to send to you Touch and Go Tone Mahathir limited edition card. And I guess Lawrence is going to show you right now, right at the side. For those of you here, if you want to make full use of this opportunity, help us to like and share this video and make sure to keep it public so we can actually know that you have been sharing this as well. So one more time, thank you so much for joining. Good afternoon. So again, my name is Wesley and we have Lawrence. You want to say anything?
No, you can continue from there. It's very energetic.
Yeah.
I think this. I forget this is MCO day one. But again, thank you so much for those who have joined us for the past few days. Thank you again, Zaki, for being here for this afternoon. Wesley, over to you.
All right, so here we have Zaki, and Zaki is the head of commercial and partnership for Touch and Go Sdn Bhd. And so why not I give the privilege for him to properly introduce himself. Okay, Zaki, any words to begin to just introduce yourself?
Hi guys, thank you very much, Dato. Thank you very much, Wesley. I think it's a privilege for me to be with you guys to share a bit of whatever we know in terms of week 3 at the moment for MCO. Right. And first and foremost, it's just with this MCO, the Movement Control Order, we just want to wish all the fellow Malaysians out there, be safe, stay at home, kita jaga kita, right? And also just, a little bit of what's happening in the market and what's happening outside. We just want to also give a big applause of hands or be grateful with our frontliners, right? Our frontliners who has been there for us in terms of helping us and making sure that everything is good for us to stay home, right? Diorang jaga orang dekat luar, kita jaga kita sendiri. So everything is about kita jaga kita at the moment. And big shout out to my Printis team, awesome thing, platform engagement, which is great to share with our knowledge and also experiences with all the fellow Malaysians out there. All right.
Thank you very much. Okay, so let's before I go into the questions I want to address to you, so hold on for a bit. Of course, we're going to talk about the rise of e-commerce. I think let's begin with a very casual one first. Okay, so I'm very curious to ask you, Zaki, what's the first thing you want to do after MCO?
If you can see, it's over here and it's over here. I don't put much care in terms of hair. I still envy Dato's haircut. I'm not too sure if he does it personally. But that is something I want to really look forward to. Just go for a good haircut, go for a mamak, teh tarik, and just enjoy the scenery, blue skies out there.
Right. Okay. All right. For those of you here who at the same time you want to enjoy post MCO, don't worry. You're gonna have your time to come and say hi to us. Say hi and shout out to Zaki as well. Drop your hi, drop your love, so that I know you're watching this video right now. All right. So let's get into the topic here today. All right, so we have invited you today, especially want to hear on the perspective of the rise of e-commerce post-COVID. So now, before I talk on the rise thing, I think I know you for a person who is very, very savvy and is very in tune in terms of the trends and especially the technology industry. So now, can you share with us, is there any trends happening out there that you think Malaysians are not aware of, especially during and post-COVID in terms of technology?
I would say it's not that Malaysians don't know of this, right? But it's more likely that, with the current MCO, everybody's like, stay at home, right? When you stay at home, people need to be connected. And I guess the most important thing that's happening at the moment is the broadband, which is seeing a traffic surge of 30 to 50% from the normal times, right? So this broadband is being affected in terms of people want to get content from the internet, want to communicate like what we're doing at the moment, right? So broadband is ultimately the most part of the whole ecosystem that we're facing at the moment. And this leads also to generating of what we call the content, which is practically, we call content is king, right? So people are streaming more, people are using more, viewing more content over TV, over Netflix, over Disney, over all of these streaming ideas. But they don't use this content per se as in for entertainment, but for education as well, right? So we have I have kids at home who are practically using classes as well, doing classes online like how Najmi is doing it with his team down at his university, where they are using online internet, and these are the new trends that's happening at the moment. But
Correct.
definitely what we can really see is more on the e-commerce side. In terms whether it's retail or food, you can see all the delivery guys out there, right? If you just jenguk kat luar aja nampak a Grab or Food Panda or one of these deliverables. So this has taken a step in terms of enhancing in terms of this internet revolution or this online trend.
Yeah, it's a very interesting trend that that surge. I think maybe some of it are not entirely new, but of course we'll see a picked up in terms of using such technology or such services that may have already been available previously. But I'm not. Let's ask this question on behalf of Wesley. I think he's much younger than me and much younger than both of us. But I definitely grew up with a time that it was definitely all cash. There's no touch and go, and slowly we evolve into touch and go. That happens to be a cart for us to go through all the tolls every day. And I think during our time, we don't even have tolls yet at the time, and evolve into smart tags, and subsequently now even our vehicles are fixed with RFIDs. So may you share with the audience today, how does this transformation come by? How did it happen over the years?
So I guess when it comes to cashless, we are grateful that we've been given the opportunity or the trust in terms of managing what we call for the past 20 years in terms of the cashless movement or mobility within the industry itself, right? When you use toll, when you use parking, even use transit system, there's always touch and go, where it's one of the iconic brands in the market at the moment, right? So for starts, cards and smart tags were just mode of what we call a payment method, right? RFID also is a payment method, but we are moving towards what we call elevating ourselves from a total payments to what we call mobility. That's where RFID comes into play. It also, in terms of enabling a larger ecosystem, mobility ecosystem, towards government's initiative for what we call the multi-lane free flow. So that's why at Touch and Go, we are, we are taking RFID as one of the biggest, challenge for us internally to champion it for the whole of Malaysia to build a new ecosystem. This ecosystem gives you what we call to RFID, gives you safety and also convenience, right? So, with post MCO later on, people do not want to really have more, cash transactions or top-up cards, right? So through RFID, you're able to link your RFID to our e-wallet, Touch and Go e-wallet, and you're able to use all of this new ecosystem, which is the RFID and toll systems. We are building what we call fueling system in the future, as I mentioned earlier. We'll detail it out later, as well as parking. So it creates more of an ecosystem itself with RFID for a better Malaysian mobility system.
Yeah. I still remember, because I think for those of you here, I met Zaki over in the Future Shifters conference back then, and I still remember it was in my Printis Future Shifters conference in Unita, right? He was speaking after me, and I still remember you tell a joke and say, we used to be buka palang, tutup palang, and things like that, and now it has transformed. Just so that you know, Lawrence, I also was the time where it's cash, then become touch and go. So I'm not too young. But actually, one thing very curious to ask, right? Because you spoke a lot about using data to understand customer behavior. Now, my curiosity is, how did RFID came into place? What was the pain point that you all realized?
So I guess it's not just we are not the only one in the world that's doing RFID, right? So countries like in the States, in Brazil, and certain parts of China are using RFID as a mode of transportation for payment services, right? But they also have what we call other use cases, right? And we believe that the RFID gives a convenience and also safety to customer. By having all of these insights and data, we can practically move into building use cases like fueling, for example, right?
Yes.
So it's more of a convenience way of increasing productivity for a person who uses this RFID service. So we believe that RFID will be the future state of the nation. We also want to support in terms of the idea of the multi-lane free flow in terms of the tolling system as well.
Right.
So that we believe that RFID is one of the best form factors to be out there.
I want to applaud for that because to me it's very convenient. So it's like I don't have to take out the card. So I personally use RFID for my car. So I think it's very convenient and you have the auto system. So I'm a big fan of that. That's why I want to say thanks to you personally, right? And okay, having said that, coming from the tech industry, right? Actually, with the rise of e-commerce and so many platforms are going online right now, do you think that this rise and this surge is a healthy trend? Do you think that it's like very overly congested and things are going online? What's your take on this?
I would think it's healthy, right? Basically, it's healthy in such a way that pre MCO, current MCO, and post MCO, it is a healthy trend. You know, basically, it works on what we call an individual level as well as the enterprise level, right? When you talk about individual level, the internet contributes a significant consumer surplus. For example, individuals can access education, health, information, and online e-commerce creates a greater accessibility to goods, especially those in remote areas, right? So it gives, for example, like me, right, or yourself, in terms of how you are going to get goods out there, right?
Yes.
So e-commerce would be a good platform for us to move into purchasing of these items, right? And also on the entrepreneurial side, it gives also the shift of the business model from a linear of brick and mortar towards a more online aspect of it, the digital aspect of it, right? And when I say this, it creates more, how to say, data-driven decisions for the entrepreneurs out there to make better decisions in terms of what product fits what customer, right? And targeting and understanding the customer is very important, especially in this era where you know where your customer purchase habits, how they look into what they view, and how they feel towards your product. So it's an engagement platform where I believe online and e-commerce has taken the purchasing or the retailer level to the retailer scene to the next level, right? But also just want to add a little bit in terms of this online thing, right? In Touch and Go itself, we always believe in what we call the digital workforce or the digital culture, right? And the digital workforce happened even prior to the MCO, where we are given the digital tools like Microsoft Teams, where myself communicate, with the senior management, with my colleagues as well, where we communicate and we do work in terms of using SharePoints, using Flow to enable faster turnaround time in terms of decision making as well, right? So all of this digital tools plus online as well as e-commerce is a very important thing, and I believe it's a healthy trend towards not just current MCO as well as post MCO. But bear in mind, there's always security has always been an issue, right? So we've always heard in the news lately about certain platforms which do not enable security features, certain platforms which are not quite transparent in terms of where they share their data, right? So I guess this is one of the most important things, especially in terms of security and also PDPA. So coming back to your question again, is it healthy? Yeah, it's a healthy trend, and I guess it's a trend that's here to stay, be it whether it's during MCO or post MCO.
All right. So as the meantime, it's talking about trends, right? So let's look at the trending comments that we have. So Zaki, somebody say hi. Chi Pong Chang say hi. All right.
Hey.
Wong Wing Wai also is here. He said, "Bro Zaki," I think it's your friend.
Yeah, bro.
All right. I want to follow up based on what you asked, and I think as a business owner, I would like to address on behalf of probably some of the circle of people I know. Now, as you talk about, it's a very healthy trend to go online, to go digital, to go e-commerce, but yet some people still resist, and they are like questioning themselves: should I or should I not? When is a good time to move? You know, should I embrace this now or should I not? Right. So my question to you is, how do you know is the right time for people to embrace in technology and go digital?
Right time is yesterday. Like what my boss says, it's always yesterday. So it's what's next, right? How to stay relevant, right? So businesses used to be, back in the days where businesses had to be to that level of greatness, it requires them to be like 95 years to reach that kind of greatness, right? So we have now startups who are like 2 weeks old, who has a mass of data, information, and even understanding the pain points and getting those pain points across the customer. Customer wants it, they become a great company, right? Yes. So creativity is important, right, when it comes to this. So by the end of the day, when is a great time to do this? I believe it's now, right? It's now or never. And with a lot of agencies out there like MDEC, supporting the digital agenda for the country, as well as agencies like you got Cradle, you got Magic that supports in terms of giving grants to these young entrepreneurs out there who wants to have ideas in terms of how to ensure these pain points can be addressed. I guess that is the opportunity that people have it now. So sooner or later, this is a continuous effort by the nation, right? By all of these agencies. But if you're asking whether when is the timing, it's always ASAP, man. You got to do it now.
Perfectly said. I like you say it's yesterday,
yeah,
right?
Definitely, it is something that you have said it very timely, because even like I said, my British has been focusing so much on offline outreach. We have been down on the ground, and it's also the first time I'm doing Facebook Live. I actually gave my first time to Wesley, so I think this is also, you are right about change. It's not just we should wait for it. We should go ahead with it. But I think Zaki, follow-up question on that. I just want to ask you, how can businesses strategize themselves? At this point of time in crisis and even post-crisis, how can they strategize to be a bit different compared to their competitors?
Wow. Well, it's always been, marketing mantra is always the word competitive advantage comes to play, right?
Yes.
Where companies look at where companies look at all their resources and also whatever they're doing at the moment in addressing the pain points, take a step back and what they have one up against the others, right? So I guess in terms of that being said, everybody's doing the same thing in the market. But it's always been, by the end of the day, it's always about the CX, the customer experience, right? Especially on the digital landscape, where it's no longer face-to-face, right? There's no face-to-face that much, but it's more on offline to online in terms of how do you give that easy onboarding, easy product to them, to make payments for them much more easier. I guess that would be a very competitive, it gives a competitive advantage to, enterprise or even entrepreneurs out there. Make it, as they call it, keep it short and simple, right?
Yes.
So that's part of it. But nevertheless, when you talk about this kind of environment, when we have this, a lot of things happening at the moment, there's too much noise in the market, right?
Yes.
But I believe that especially where we are at Touch and Go, it's always about partnerships and collaborations, right? It's about, what you have and what other partners have in terms of, and how you marry them together in creating a better, curate a better narrative for the market itself in terms of collaboration and partnership. Give an example, like we've just announced, I think so, a month, 2 months ago, where Touch and Go and Shell are working towards building a use case for RFID fueling, where it gives convenience to customers who have RFID, right, to go to Shell petrol and have fueling done payments via RFID. So given the imaginative or innovation part of it, where customers just drive to the Shell bay, the RFID is there, it will detect the car itself. The customer just needs to go out, pick up the nozzle, fuel in, put it back, and just drive off. So partnerships, collaborations like those enables a better, competitive advantage, or maybe I would say give a better experience to the customer in enabling this whole RFID agenda nationwide.
Right. So I like the part
that
I like the part when you say that it's no longer being that market leader number one, but it's like, how do we have the advantage by collaboration? Because I think previous business model used to be, you go to number one, you go and beat your competitors. I think now, like what you say, CX is very important to make sure the people's user journey is taken care of. I think that's a very good advice. Now, a follow-up advice right now, especially during MCO and even post MCO and post COVID, right? Do you have any advice to business owners or employees or even youth out there to transform their business now? Do you have any words of encouragement for them?
I guess it's not just for the youth out there, but it's for me as well, and also my team who's listening out there. It's all about mentality, right? I guess it's about changing the mentality in terms of how to be agile and also innovative towards these things, right? Yeah. It's just that by end of the day, what we want to do is basically have a positive narrative towards things. At the moment when when government announced about MCO, everybody were like buying stuff abruptly, right? They are panic here, panic there, right? but it's all about changing mentality, right? So businesses needs to also understand that there's a shift towards mentality mindset, not just for the consumer market, but also for themselves in terms of how to take it. I would say take advantage, but taking the understanding of what's happening in the market. So mentality and also agility, innovation is a key, right? The second part of it is always the customer, right? They are always our customer is king, right? So whatever or whoever customers that we have there, whether it's a potential customer or the current customer, we need to know them better, right? In terms of what their likes, what's their dislikes, we have to understand the trends. But knowing your customer better, I guess we are able to practically curate a better product for them, giving them a better CX, right? So when you want to build businesses in terms of doing this, as I mentioned earlier, mentality is important. Knowing the customer is also important as well. But the third part is where speed. Speed is the most important thing in the market at the moment, right? If we do not, for example, if my printers didn't think about doing this platform, right, and any other organization starts doing it, right, so we'll be left behind, right? So it's like my printers, like Wesley who gives stock. So it's how fast we can go to market and react to it, right? We do understand there's a lot of restriction, especially for the non-essential services in the market with regards to this, but we need to overcome it through speed and also scale. So the 3 points I would like to make, with regards to what are the advice we give to business owners or entrepreneurs out there? It's change your mentality, be agile and innovative in part of it, right? That's number one. Number two, know your customer better. Be out there with the customer rather than be inside within the organization and think what you're building is just good for you, but not for the customer, especially on the CX part. And also the speed, the skill go to market, right? How fast you can go to market, how fast you can actually address the pain points of the market at the moment. So I guess those are the three elements that I believe that can help in terms of customers growing. But just additional to that, right? Agencies out there are doing a great initiative even from the Ministry of Finance to the Technology Ministry, and also as agencies like MDEC, Cradle, as well as Magic. So they're giving these grants, platforms for brick and mortar companies or brick and mortar retailers to come on board, for e-learning companies to have a better understanding in terms of how to do machine learning or AI and all of these digital tools that we can have in terms of moving forward. So I guess there's those three parts: mentality, knowing your customer, and speed to market is important. I believe it's been said time and time again by leaders of the market or leaders of the industry, as well as we have also the platform that's given by the agencies and the government in terms of uplifting Malaysia to the next level when it comes to the digital economy itself.
Now, I think this is very important. I thank you so much that you have given your recognition to my printers on us moving forward at these trying times. But this is one thing that I want to follow up on, the question on mentality and speed, right? You see, I think a lot of people, for example, MCO, actually a lot of people know that they are not supposed to go out, but yet they still go out, right? So same as in mentality for change, people realize that they need to change, but they are not taking initiatives, or maybe in terms of some businesses that they are still having some issues in terms of maybe the bosses are still maybe at a very old school mentality, or they are not willing to change. What are your thoughts and your take on businesses, conventional businesses, or even entrepreneurs that may not even, they know they need to change, but they're not taking action, or they're not moving at all?
Great question, Dato. I just want to share with you an experience that I had during my days while I was working in the States. There was this small company, big company called Blockbuster, right? Blockbuster, where you can practically rent video out, DVDs during that time. It's a brick and mortar store, right? And this Blockbuster was one of the leading brands in the market, I think so, during the early, I would say late early 2000 or mid towards 2010. And they've always believed in terms of brick and mortar stores will stay there, right? So that is their mentality. They're not going to move. They're not going to change. That's how it's going to be. So came this small little company called Netflix, right? Netflix came into a board, saying that, hey, let's talk to Blockbusters and see how we can work together, right? But I guess Blockbusters didn't really believe in the streaming or the future state of how content would be consumed by customer, right? So they decided not to, go ahead with Netflix. I'm not, that's my understanding of the whole story. Not to go with Netflix and see where Netflix at the moment. So it teaches us a lesson in terms of whatever that we have at the moment, would it be relevant in the future, right? If companies would like to stay where they are at the moment, it would be great for them to have this, what we call an ambidextrous kind of mind, where they need to look into whatever resources that they have at the moment and think that, okay, we'll take a bit of these resources and we try to do something else. And we see whether this something else is something that we believe that will be the state of future. Like in Touch and Go itself, it's a cultural change as well, where we used to have cards where you tekan card and it, and you're used to that at tolls, transit. That's why we are moving towards what we call moving from a payments company to a mobility company, right? It's not just to say that we are not doing payments anymore. We're doing mobility. By the way, payments are there as well, right? To give this data, information, insights, safety to all the consumer over there in Malaysia. So movement, shiftment of mindset is very important for for companies or enterprises to be relevant in the future.
Right. I think it's a very good example that you shared personally from yourself and Blockbuster. Just so that you know, again, Lawrence, I know what's Blockbuster. It's a different generation, right? Okay, so just want to communicate people right there. I think Zaki, some of our friends, Mirza Haziq, say hi to Zaki. Jaya Prasad Rao E, say hi, bro, Zaki. Muhammad Hafizuddin say steady, Abang Zaki, right? Okay.
But I guess I got a question for you guys, right?
Okay.
Wesley, I've known Wesley growing up, giving motivational talks to these youngsters out there, youth out there in terms of how to move forward. How does this MCO affected you actually?
Oh, great! It's the first time people ask me. I'm okay. In fact, I felt that this is a very healthy change. Like even the reason why I was on green screen is because I just conducted a training for a company in Hong Kong. We just before this call. So it was in this morning here. So the screen call was 1,000 people, and to me, I find the MCO as a great opportunity. Okay, number one, because I've always believed in virtual learning going on online. Just that I felt that to a certain extent, right, some people are just not ready to embrace the change. And I find that MCO is a very healthy time where suddenly you see a lot of learners adopting this digital learning. So I guess what I've learned from this experience is, I think us being entrepreneurs and business owners must be willing to reflect on ourselves and say, hey, it's really time to change. Like what you say, when should we change? Yesterday. So it's like a good wake-up call and say, hey, so now is always a good time. Now is a good time for certain crises into opportunities. And I think, I would like to think MCO is a great time for me to reflect on my business model and my team. So
positive narrative, right?
Yeah, I think first we must, like what you say, mentality must be there first. Because if you're always thinking like, cannot, then our overheads need to pay, our staff needs to pay salary. I think it's what we tell ourselves instead of looking as a disaster, messaging an opportunity. So like what you say, positive narrative is very important. So that's my take on this. I want to thank MCO.
It's like trying to fix a running train, right? So now with this MCO movement or the movement control order, right? It's like a train which is either stopped or going slow, but it gives you an opportunity to take a step back and say, okay, what do we need to fix at the moment? Correct. Right? Post MCO, we're ready to go, right? So that's the mentality that we need for the youth out there, right? Take this opportunity to learn in terms of there's so much e-learning programs out there. I'm grateful that our head of learning and development, shout out to Doc Amy out there at Touch and Go, where she comes up with all of these e-learning platforms for us at home, even though in between works, it gives us an opportunity to understand better in terms of what we need to learn today to practically better not just ourselves, but also the organization that we're working with, right? So youth out there, please take this opportunity, go out there. There's a lot of agencies that's going to help you in terms of giving you a platform, and whether it's a technology platform itself or financial assistance, take this opportunity during this time, right? So once post MCO or post COVID, the new norm will be a practical and old norm for you, right? So it'll be an automative thing or automation thing that you'll just go ahead with it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay, before I pass to Lawrence, right? I have a follow-up question. I think Manso Alha is here to say hi to you, Zaki. Shahil Ali say Zaki wood. All right. Manso Alha say MCO is a time where digital transformation is bestowed on every organization, a change that's compulsory. I highly agree. Now, my follow-up question, like what you say is, okay, so we have talked a lot about the mindset, the agility, and we talk about the thing. Okay, let's come down back into practical, actionable items. So, like for you, Zaki, do you have any advice for business owners to embark on digital transformation now? What can they do now? What are some action steps that you recommend? What are the strategies that you recommend for them to execute now?
So what we call, it's always this phrase people use, like low-hanging fruit. What's the low-hanging fruit, right?
Correct.
So I guess My Printers has come up with series of programs, or the interviews prior to this with SME Bank, with university, with how would you say, how to develop Usahawan, right? Quite recently, right? And those would be the platform that I believe youth or even enterprises or entrepreneurs out there need to engage. It starts with you. All you need to do is, with your phone or with your laptop, just go there and just practically go to the website and understand what needs to be done, right? It's always by end of the day mentality and mindset that you need to move first.
Yes.
All the tools are out there. Whether you want to do e-conference, whether you want to do e-learning, whether you want to do e-commerce, platform, semua agency government ni ada. It only steps, it's up to yourself, right?
Yes.
Nak buat or tak nak buat. It's simple as that, right? So, coming back to your question, advice is always, the change needs to start from you. If we want to be like sedih pasal MCO, sedih pasal COVID, I think so we need to change that kind of mindset. We need to be more positive, have a positive narrative towards it. I believe Tone also has always asking the youngsters or the youth out there, what is next? How to embrace this technology, all these digital tools, or this digital workforce or digital culture that we need to use for the future of betterment for Malaysia. Because it does not only affect only just yourself or your business, but it's a big ecosystem altogether, right? And from this ecosystem, you can build partnerships, you can build collaborations with other companies as well, to take it maybe not from just a Malaysian level, but also to the global level. So it only starts for you. The first step is always this. The internet is there. Government dah kasih you free internet 1 gig, right? Yes. So I think so. So internet 1 gig, correct? Yeah. Use that opportunity. Tak payahlah kita, Netflix sangat or stream sangat. But there's a lot of e-learning platforms out there that practically can tutor and help entrepreneurs to go to the next level, stage by stage. But first step is always go to the internet, and all the information or opportunity or all of these funds, financial or tutorial or digital workforce is always there for you to have.
Yeah.
I really agree so much on this part. Change begins from yourself, and I always believe we have to lead by example. We have to be there. I have a very important question. You shared about a narrative of a train. A train comes with a few compartments, right? So if the head of the train is so motivated, so energetic like you embrace
Sharonism.
Well, I will separately speak to him another time. Hopefully we have a session with him. But
yeah, he will.
Being a head of a department yourself, you see, I think I can see the energy, I can see the passion in you. But how do you bring this to your team? How do you motivate them? And now that you are not there with them, I mean physically, you are remotely engaging with your team. How do you actually encourage them to also go through this and embrace the change together with you?
I guess it's I always believed in this 4-letter word, words, right? Word. How you use your word, right? A word can be a positive effect or negative effect. For me, it's always been I've always been said that I'm a visionary kind of person, a yellow side brain. I don't know. I've forgotten about this whole color scheme thing, but you need to paint that vision how I do it. Basically, I paint this vision to my team. This is our end goal. How do we reach the end goal? If they have the same motivation, or I would say the motivation yet. I would say that if they have the same vision as I do in understanding it, so the motivation doesn't come just from me, but from them themselves. So I believe like Wesley and also Dato, they have the same vision. They have the same motivation. They have the same passion. They have the same energy. They have the same drive. They have the same passion. So when you have a vision and you have a team, if your team understands your vision and believe in your vision, they will work not just because of you, but because of the vision itself. The sense of accomplishment that we're doing. So at Touch and Go at the moment, we have a lot of projects that we're doing at the moment, right? As you know, we're with all this MCO, we are figuring out how to practically go to market with, especially on RFID, right? People are not going up. How do we do it? Now we serve RFID to people. So people don't have to leave their houses. They can do it on the e-commerce platform. So that is one thing we're building at the moment. So that's the narrative that's the vision I'm selling. I'm not selling, but practically the vision I'm sharing with my team. So they understand that vision. And now understanding the vision itself, they are motivated in terms of being part of that ecosystem or part of that team to making sure that this is being accomplished. Once it's been accomplished, then the self-fulfillment or the feeling of self-fulfillment will be there. So, coming back to your question, it's about giving them vision, understanding the vision, and getting them to believe into the vision as well. Yeah. And they will be self-motivated in actually working towards that vision.
Right. Okay, I'm a true believer in vision, and I'm not too sure about you. I think you read this book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek.
Yeah, Simon Sinek is the man.
Yeah, man. Okay. So let me just ask you this question, right? Since we're having such a nice conversation now, how do you know is the right vision to set that you think will inspire people?
I would say it's a gamble, right? It depends on experience, right? It's for me, it's something like this. It's never something right until it's wrong. You need to do it first,
right?
And you understand it when it's wrong, and you have the experience of that wrongness, or whether through that experience you make the right decisions along the way. Right. It comes also through experience of having multiple understanding of different industries, of how things move, right? And also the current opportunity that we have, right? So there's a long-term vision and a short-term vision, right?
Yes.
The long-term vision is something that is achievable by achieving the short-term vision. So coming back to your visioning, we need to practically break down the vision into, I would say eatable or the consumed level of vision. So when you have these small visions or small goals that you achieve, definitely you reach to the end vision. But to say whether it's right or wrong, it is based on the leadership of the company, the experience of the company. And I believe companies which are, governed by, led by board of directors who have multiple aspects and experience throughout the years of the industry, I think so that's something that we can practically work. And one more thing that I just want to add, data plays a big role in it as well. Data, as well as I think it's not overused, but it needs to be used further in terms of making data-driven decisions, right? Yeah. So data-driven decisions, but you would have a vision, but it's not backed up by data, it's going to be tough. So it's doing it on the level of a vision that you understand, that you believe in, backed by data. I believe that will be the right vision for us to go forward for.
Yeah, I think the feeling of I agree so much that sometimes I also tell my friends, sometimes I feel that I also a bit kamikaze, berani mati. So, but I think a lot of our regular young people out there, or even a lot of irregular young people out there, or even Malaysians, they are maybe afraid of trying as well, because some of them may have different reasons. Some of them may be a lot of considerations. So, how do you think that you want to share this about being, daring, being there to take the first step to do it? But whether are they still unsure, will this affect their life or even their future? What is your take on this?
Those who do not dare do not succeed. Simple as that.
Wow.
People who are daring, I just want to share another story about a CEO I know of.
Go ahead, yes.
Who never knew that he could do Ironman or triathlon, right? Who thought that he was just a corporate guy, looks into, leading up companies about that, until he came out to the stage that he wants to try this. What he's, it's all about mindset. What doesn't bleed him will make him stronger. What doesn't kill him will make him stronger. So coming back, by the end of the day, Tato, it's all about mentality.
Yes.
Right? It's all about mentality. Whether you want to take the jump now or later, it's all up to you. That's how I look at it, right? And I believe that's how Wesley is Wesley now. Right, Tato? He could have just stayed in Petronas and become a chemical engineer and work 9 to 5, even though it's his passion or or whatever conversation he had with his dad, right? But it's passion. It's within Wesley himself that he wanted to do this, and throughout being successful where he is at the moment, I believe it all starts with him, yourself, in terms of how you want to change your mindset and just work towards that goal.
Well,
So I think it's very, very important, because I also took a step of leap when I started Printis. And I think a lot of people who know my story, which I also wrote the book, it's also, things were uncertain since day one. That is for sure. And until today, because of MCO, we are still trying our best to innovate. I have another follow-up question on particularly on this e-entrepreneurship. I mean, on e-commerce and etc. I think a lot of people are transforming. I also get to know that the pasar borong that I used to go to now also start to put on their things online and etc. I also acknowledge that you mentioned this is a very healthy trend. Things are going to change over the next not only few months but maybe years to come. But if there is a little advice to young people that may want to start something today and may want to start something tomorrow or yesterday, would e-commerce or something on this particularly would be overly congested, or is it actually not just about the number of people inside the ecosystem, or what do they need to think about before they want to start something new tomorrow?
Let's ask Wesley that question. No, I'll put it this way, right? There's a lot of motivational speakers out there. How do you differentiate yourself? Too many, right? We are speaking to Wesley at the moment, right? Dato', you choose Wesley among the other speakers at the moment, right? That's how I look at it. But nevertheless, come back to your question, Dato'. This I would say, when you say it's congested, yes, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of congestion. But at the end of the day, it's about CX, customer experience.
Yeah.
Right? Dato', you go back to the same barber that you've been to for the longest time.
Yes.
I buy from the same person that I buy stuff online all the time, because I have that customer experience and I like the customer experience. And there's 4 things I believe that there's always that resonates with me. Customer who believes I would say the platform that we need to engage customer is always giving them access, right? Access to all your products that you have. That's important. Yes. Data and insights, right? Also convenience. Kalau nak beli tudung, takkanlah nak 100 tudung macam tu. So when you're very specific in terms of whatever tudung that you want to sell, you've got to have that niche market. And how do you create that niche market? In terms of not just selling tudung, but create a content towards it, right? I believe consumption of content has been so much evolved or increased for the past few weeks or during MCO, where you can see people doing a lot of this TikTok, people doing rapping of whatever PM is saying, right? And people are riding into bicycles in their house or whatever, right? But content is important for them to put their product on top of content, right? I believe these digital channels to this omni-channel of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all of it creates what we call content. If consumer is able to consume your content, they can consume the product, right? And also loyalty lah. When your customer buys something from you, you give them something extra back, they will come back to you. Loyalty is important, right? So it's
go for the cashback. I love your cashbacks.
Yeah, thank you very much for the support, right? Especially everybody out there, right? RFID has been such a success. We started out with a learning program. We had our pilot. We started over a single number. Now we reached nearly, I think, 1.2 million users out there. With our partners like Plus, who are going to open their closed system like NKBE, North-South Highway later on, we'll see a tremendous trajectory towards there that creates more safety to the customer, convenience to the customer. We're building these new use cases anymore. So it's all about how you want to give back to your customer. If you have that how to say customers understanding of your product, you build that ecosystem for them, you have that loyalty for them, definitely it's a way to stay.
Fantastic. I really love that point that you gave, the CX, the experience. Then to be very frank with you, I have to be very honest. Today at my left and my right, these are the people that also has been supporting my Printis since the early days. This is one thing that I want to actually see on your title, the head of commercial and partnership. I believe that in whatever business or whatever venture that we do, we can't be successful alone. We can't do this by ourselves. So, but we need to also be very careful with who are the partners that we are looking for. So, what are your criteria? How do you actually define a good partner?
Wow.
Oh, this is a tough one. Well, for me, this is on a personal basis, not on touch and go basis, right? But nevertheless, when you talk about partners, it's about give and take. It's always give and take, right? I think so. Compromising is the number one factor in terms of building partnerships and collaboration, right? It's always about. By the end of the day, it's not really business for business, but it's all about relationship and also how do you want to practically have this win-win-win attitude where win is not just win-win, but win for the customer as well, because we're building this new ecosystem or the product for the customer, right?
Right.
So in choosing our partners, I think so it's all about compromising. Truth be told, throughout years of experience of working, you've never sat down and with a partner or another company that when you sit down together, you can just shake hand on day one and say we agree to these terms. It doesn't happen that way.
Correct.
I have what I want. They have what they want, and we try to meet somewhere in the middle. I agree that compromising part is always good. That wants to make things happen, right? We understand that that's one part of it. Then also empathy, in terms of how do we feel what's our partners facing at the moment, and how we can help them in terms of enhancing their business, and likewise, and how they can help us in enhancing our business. Right. So being empathy, being cooperative, as well as compromising is, I think so, these are the most important elements in terms of before sitting down with our partners and really want to engage them. This is something that we really need to really understand if there's what you call chemistry between the partners.
Chemistry.
All right.
That's a chemistry. Chemistry, yeah. Yeah, you our degree in chemistry, right?
He was in I think Lawrence is biochem, right? Sorry?
So yes, I'm in biotech, yes. So I bomb.
Yeah. He bomb already. The plant say can do that, I will mass produce. So chemical engineers do that.
Yeah, you both of you have chemistry, right? That's why you guys have been doing this platform engagement for the youth for the longest time.
Yeah, and both of us never practice what we study. You have never been a biotech. I mean, I just be a chemical engineer for a short time.
I didn't practice. I gave my lecturers.
But at the end of the day, it's not, the degree is something that it teaches you discipline in terms of what you want to learn.
Correct.
Understanding to get your degree. It's a discipline, right? But once you graduate already, you follow your passion, like how Wesley and also Dato. Passion to help the youth. Passion to give motivation speeches around the nation to develop this new e-learning system, right?
Yes.
So those are the passion that you guys have, the mentality that you change from being just an engineer or chemical engineer or biotech engineer to wherever you are. Because in the morning when you wake up, it's like a circus for you. Something you look forward to, something you want to work on, right?
Okay. All right, sure. I guess when you have passion, right, time flies, and it's that because you enjoy the moment. We have already entered 48 minutes. Actually, our initial plan was just do like 40, half an hour. All right. I really want to have a longer chat with you, but unfortunately, I think we have almost reached the end of this interview right now. And I want a big shout out to you. So thank you so much, Zaki, for your time. And so we have got some friends. Thank you very much. And we have David Yong, who's here joining us. Megat Hisham says, Zaki, RFID, practice social distancing, no human intervention. I support you, bro. All right, good. All right, so just some shout out right here. So just before we officially end, I do have something to share. One more time, I will invite for those of you watching right now to like and share this post so that we can benefit many more people out there. And do keep your status public so we know who you are sharing this as well. So that's number one. So we'll be picking lucky winners. We will be giving away touch and go. All right, Tuan Mahadio's limited edition card for those lucky winners. That's one. And so the next thing which I want to share with you is My Printies. Right now, we are running a My Printies care. And I would like to invite, for those of you watching right now, to be a part of this initiative to show our support and appreciation for the frontliners and the deserving family members. So you can see right there, this is www.simplygiving.com/event/myprintiescare. For those of you here, I highly encourage and to invite all of you to be part of this. And the last thing, I think Lawrence has got something to share. So Lawrence will be sharing our latest.
Before we TikTok to the 50-minute, thank you so much again, Zaki, for spending your afternoon with us, and fantastic chair. I've said it since I've seen you just now. I really love that. I'll get it for myself. And we also, you see, I have wanted to start this FB Live for the longest time. I did not procrastinate, but I did not actually make any move. And because of this, I actually started FB Live during this MCO. Telegram channel as well. We also have a new Telegram channel that we will continuously broadcast to our followers on what is going to happen. And we're going to have a lot of exciting series coming up. We're going to do this every day. I do not know that if MCO is going to be extended. We're going to continue to do more FB Lives for our audience. Just follow the link to our Telegram channel, and you can get our updated news. Of course, we are also updating it on our social media as well. So, Zaki, thank you so much again for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Wesley. Thank you for giving us an opportunity for today.
Definitely. Okay, so Zaki, any last words for our viewers out there?
Stay at home. Kita jaga kita. Thank you very much, frontliners, for everything. Guys, what you guys are doing at My Printers is awesome. Wesley, keep up the good work.
Yeah.
We are here to support you guys to whatever channels that we could, right?
Yes.
And it's definitely in terms of moving Malaysia to the next mobility level towards RFID. Yes. So we are going to put RFID online soon towards our e-commerce channels. Look out for it, guys. More RFID use cases to come, and believe that RFID is the way to go for the future. Once again, Dato', thank you very much. Wesley, thank you very much. And good luck to the youth out there.
All right, for those watching, thank you so much for your time. And David Yong especially, thanks guys. You're most welcome. And before we end, our tradition is we're going to take a picture together, Zaki. All right, just give us a love sign, right?
How do you do love this? Oh,
correct, betul. Okay, so ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you very much. And again, once again, thank you so much for your time. And for those out there, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay calm, stay strong, everybody. Stay awesome. Until then, all of us from My Printers signing off. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Bye.